move on, since this is going to be technically in the future, this episode could come out after the results. So what do you want to say?
Oh my god.
In the event that
Yo, can we do a segment like if Trump wins or Biden wins?
Yeah. So
if Trump wins,
so listen,
Jesus Christ.
Let's do your first take if Trump wins, and then your first take if Biden wins.
Oh, this is amazing.
Oh my god, I just got so stressed out.
Let's do Trump first. All right, you ready?
All right, hold on. Let me set the picture. So Trump just won his second term.
Okay.
What is your first take on that? You're
This country deserves everything it gets. If he wins, whatever, don't care. This country deserves everything it gets, honestly. Because it's like you've had 4 years to see all this bullshit, and then especially this year with the pandemic, child, you want it to be a dumpster fire. So, girl, have it. Good luck. I hope this shit falls apart for all y'all.
Shit. That's my first take.
Right.
I just know the boys in Tifton, Georgia turning up right now.
Well, let me tell you, I'm from the 229. I was there this weekend.
Child.
There's a lot of Trump flags out there, so they're happy. They're celebrating. My parents are happy.
Oh my
I might need to, move them up to.
You might. I'd suggest it, honestly.
Yeah, you might need to because the coronavirus is about to get crazier. Corporate tax can be 20% though. Still.
Even under Biden's tax law, I didn't see how that changed any.
I don't think under Biden. Really?
Yeah, no, it's not changing.
Okay.
Only changes if you earn over $400,000
I mean, let's
or more.
be real, man. No matter what president's coming in this thing, man, it's gonna be the same. You know what?
It is. Here's the thing, though. I feel like I would like to think. I don't know what segment we are now, so.
We're in the Trump won.
Oh well, shit. I'll keep. Well, either way it goes. My hope is that.
Even though it's October.
I feel like with. And a lot of people are gonna be pissed at me for saying, but I'm not impressed with Biden nor Kamala because of just their past history. I don't care how you feel about the crime bill. People could be like, well, black people wanted the crime bill win, Okay, that's perfectly fine. But what has happened since then? Like Kamala, her whole job being attorney general, people are like, well, she was just doing her job. She chose to be an attorney general. She chose to be the top cop. I'm not impressed. She could have been a criminal defense attorney and actually tried to put her background to helping people. She did it. So she was on the other side of the law. So I'm gonna be completely honest. You're right. I don't see anything really changing with them. The only thing I see changing is perhaps a better, I'm praying, a better plan as far as handling coronavirus and getting the rest of the world to let us come back and travel again.
But Trump won, so.
All right, so we can segment it. I think we got the consensus.
Yeah.
So let's do your first take if Biden wins. What's your thought?
Please let us back into your country so I can get the fuck out of here. Pretty please. Like.
Oh, for traveling purposes?
Yes.
I will say I do think I kind of pretty much agree with your sentiments of I don't see them doing much different here domestically for us. But I think internationally it's gonna be way better for us.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
With Biden winning, I assume he won in this case. Keep your, student loans are going. You heard about the student loan shit? So basically he said he wants to take 10K off everybody's student loans off the top. No matter what your income is, just taking 10K off.
When did he say that? I totally missed that.
He said that like a month and a half ago.
Well, I might need to look that up.
November, so it might be 3 months ago.
Well,
So
I need to look that up.
Real, everything's flowing together.
I was relatively think about it.
But let's be honest though, him saying that and the probability of it actually happening, I won't get excited until I see that 10K come
Very
off my
true.
student loan.
But he also stated that you won't have to pay student loans if you make under 125. That's what he says, but
How does that
a
work?
lot of politicians say a lot.
I'm gonna say politicians be like to talk out the side of their ass. And the only reason why they'll say things like this was because of Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. And I think Julian Castro, and was it Andrew Yang? I think they were all kind of saying the same thing about student loans at one point on a scale, obviously, because some were, Elizabeth is like, hey, just get rid of them shits. And other people are like, well, let's find a better way for you all to be able to afford them. But either way it goes, it's like these career-ass politicians don't care until you make them care.
I fuck with Yang, because Yang said if we tax Amazon, we can make up for it.
I mean, honestly, I was okay. Y'all know my undergrad is in economics, so I'm always in my bad about
Inform us.
foolish. Anyways, so I can't remember if it was Hulu that had the Panama Papers documentary that I watched. And I'm the type of person when the Panama Papers hit. If I don't, okay, let me take a step back. For those that don't know what the Panama Papers
I was
is,
gonna put myself in an ignorant category.
no, it's fine, because this is a very
Oh yeah.
yeah.
They got a
So
lot of
oh,
media
man.
names, too.
they got a lot of people up out of the paint. So Panama Papers was basically like this huge, like undercover, like reportive, investigative journalism, like thousands of pages of documents of like dignitaries and politicians and companies and just anybody you could think of, like hiding their money offshore, like using tax shelters and tax havens. And it all went through like this one big ass company based in Panama. And it's insane. Like they literally were hoarding like the GDP offshore, like in a year, like Apple and Coke and all Nike and all these there, like everybody was hoarding shit. Trillions of dollars gone untaxed. Insane. So I remember, I mean, it made Donald Trump look like child's play, if we're being completely honest. It was that bad. Like when I remember reading it on theguardian.com, and there's like thousands of not even thousands, it was like hundreds of journalists that came together across the world to report on this thing. Insane. And I remember when the Panama Papers first dropped, and I was surprised that it didn't like blow everything up. But I also wasn't surprised it didn't blow everything up. And it's unfortunate because the only one person that like really paid for it was a journalist overseas, and she got killed by a car bomb. I can't remember which which country she was from, but the Panama Papers documentary, I'm pretty sure it's on Hulu because I just watched it a couple months ago again. Talking about all these things, like it's insane how much money that could be flowing for the good of our country if we were actually taxing people right and like getting rid of all these tax havens and tax shelters and loopholes and all types of stuff. It's insane. And
It's
even,
definitely, like,
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, even like with the pandemic and everything going on, I think countries like Denmark and Sweden and Norway, they always seem to have the right idea. Because they were like, if you are putting your money in tax havens and tax shelters, we're not bailing you out. Good luck. And I love that. And I wish I wish our country would do that, but of course it won't. But I just thought that stuff was so interesting. To
Yeah,
go back
so-
to your point about Amazon.
Kind of to follow that sentiment, you know, like how generally the Democrats are by the side,
Mhm.
they want to increase taxes, and they're not increasing like a crazy amount like how people are kind of
Making it out to be.
What you
Making
see
it out to be.
on those commercials.
But I definitely think that like, sure, it's taxing a little bit more richer people, but like the very wealthy, they're still going to have loopholes. They're still going to be able to hide everything. So the people that we could really tax, like how you mentioned, you know, offshore accounts and stuff like that, or Amazon, or, you know, all these other companies who, I mean, to be fair, they're just doing what the law allows them to do.
Yeah.
It's just that the law itself allows for these things. So like, maybe somebody making $400,000 a year, but that isn't like a ridiculous billion.
It's not Jeff Bezos on the way to being a trillionaire.
Yeah, like maybe somebody's an executive at a company. Cool, they have money, but they're paying a little bit more taxes. But like his boss is still like, oh, cool, I'm not gonna pay anything in taxes or whatever.
Which is insane. Yeah.
Hey, I learned a lot today.
It's insane.